is my pig Jorge. Bethany gave it to me. All right, so I will be talking about educational stereotypes that all people have, whether you're a student or you're an educator. Every educator has a role and has preconceived notions of what that role is. So we all have students, or have been the students, who sit in the back of the class purposely, who text, who doodle, who pass notes. And I know I was one of those students. I always have been one of those students, and I always will be one of those students. That's just who I am. But those students in general get on your nerves. There's always a note to be passed, and there's always a note being intercepted. And no, it couldn't wait until the last minute of class, because it was important right in that second, hence note passing. But teachers never understand that. They don't understand that that's a way that we involve our literacy. And generally, we're labeled the bad kids. And no, it's not our goal in life to annoy the teacher or get detention or suspended or have to stay over class. Believe me, the bad kids never want to spend any alone time with the teacher or faculty. It's not our goal. Teachers expect to yell at them, to fail them, to meet a parent-teacher conference, or have to remove them from class for being disruptive to other students, even though they're minding their own business and other students are distracted easily. That's not our fault. We try to take the back of the class for a reason. A for effort. We expect those kids to look like this. So we expect them to be the goths, to be the emo kids, to be the ghetto gangster kids, or the lazy, drug-enhanced kids who listen to vulgar music and not Blake Shelton or Taylor Swift happy music, right? When in fact, most of them don't look like the stereotypes. Your assumptions are generally wrong. You're stereotyping the classic teenager and forgetting that those stages are natural, and we all rebel against our parents. And maybe some of us are still having them. Most of them look like this. David Karp, who's the founder of Tumblr and dropped out of school at the age of 14. Or John Mayer, who dropped out of Berklee College of Music instantly. Or Matt Mullenweg, who dropped out of the University of Houston in 2004 to create WordPress, which we all use. Or Ellen DeGeneres, who everyone just loves. And when they drop out, or when they don't drop out, they look like this. They look like me, in all honesty. I cause havoc in class. I know Chris Fosa knows that. I know Kim Jackson knows that. I'm a horrible student. I cause problems. I'm not. Or they look like my 13-year-old brother, who wrote a paper on Shakespeare that was too long and used too much slang, and ended up telling the teacher that Shakespeare's the origin of slang and got an F. So A+ to that teacher. Or girls, like me and my best friend, who I know we're both going to grad programs at Berklee. And being one of the students, I realized that sometimes, in all honesty, we're just bored. Like, we sit in the back of the class and we bang our head against things. And it's not a bad thing. It's not that what you're teaching is boring, it's just the way that you try to involve us is boring. Like, writing papers is not fun for anyone. It doesn't matter if you're a professor and have been doing it for years, it's not fun for anyone. And by every teaching philosophy in the world, and every teaching style in the world, we're considered troublemakers and failures and things like that. If we don't learn by a tactile environment or auditory or visually, then it's just not right. Like, there's no other stimulation that we're getting that everyone else is given to us. So intellectually, we should involve the students in another way. Like, it shouldn't have to be only auditory learners. It shouldn't have to be only visual learners. We should make sure that they're successful, and that doesn't mean we have to stick to the confines of a textbook and what the textbook says that we have to teach. Generally, yes, it's a pain. I'm not going to lie. Like, going outside and trying to be all creative when all the other students are doing just fine with 3 ways that people learn. It's a pain, and I'm one of those kids, and it's always going to be a pain. I'm sorry, I can't help it. But students like me are challenged to push teachers outside of their comfort zone. There shouldn't be a comfort zone for teachers. What we do is so unique, and it sucks that we get paid the least, but it's so unique that we have to mold ourselves and continue to grow as teachers. Like, we should take a page out of our own book and practice what we preach. Every student is a learning experience for ourselves. So that's what I believe. When we don't do that, we make the students into troublemakers. We pigeonhole them into unsuccessful students, and we make them the failures that we stereotype them as. When we're saying that you don't fit into one of these 3 ways of learning, then we automatically quantify them as being stupid or being dumb, and that's just not true. So my call to action, or my question at the end is, Are you too comfortable in your profession? Because if you are, then there's definitely something you need to change.